So for today's video, we are going to discuss some of the potential signs that your baby may have suffered a traumatic brain injury at birth. And in our context, this is going to be an HIE injury. The previous video that I did, I talked about what it could possibly mean if your baby is discolored or blue in color, especially in the context of an HIE injury. And based on that video, people had questions offline in regards to essentially what are the potential signs that might mean that your baby has suffered a traumatic brain injury at birth. Now, these things I'm going to talk about today, they're not going to always mean that there is a traumatic brain injury or that there is an HIE injury, but I just want to make sure that you understand a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about today are some of the common themes that we hear from families when they contact us and they're trying to find answers as to, was it medical malpractice that caused their baby's traumatic brain injury, or was it genetics, or was it developmental, or was it something else? Now, the first one that we hear a lot is seizures. And in our context, that's going to mean unusual brain activity. So a lot of these families, when they contact us, their baby has had seizures. Seizures are extremely serious. And so if you have a situation in which you are noticing seizure activity, this could either be in the hospital or even if you've gotten home, you should make sure that you speak with the medical professionals in regards to seizures. A lot of times when babies have had a traumatic brain injury like an HIE injury, those seizures can present themselves immediately after birth, or they can take some time, it could be a couple of hours to a couple of days following, then the seizures might show up. So the first one that families report to us a lot is seizures. The second one is going to be NICU. There is a handoff to the NICU, and this can be for a lot of reasons. It can be present as to why the NICU could be there. You could have an issue in regards to maybe the baby had meconium that was in the fluid and there's concerns of meconium aspiration syndrome. There could be issues in regards to the electronic fetal heart monitor. Maybe there were non-reassuring readings on the electronic fetal heart monitor, and for whatever reason, this is beginning to give concerns to the doctors and the nurses in regards to what's going on with their baby. Now, this NICU thing and what's happening after birth, this can be really important because what can happen in some instances is families will notice certain things when the baby is born. So for example, like I said already, when I talked about with the baby being blue in color or discolored, that is something to be on the lookout for. In addition to that, if the baby is floppy, if the baby is not breathing, there is no respiratory effort, these are things that you really want to be on the lookout for. And in some instances, we even had families that have contacted us and said that, Mr. Boston, we really thought our baby was dead. It wasn't moving, wasn't making any sounds. It was just flopping around. We thought our baby was dead. So, all of these types of things that I'm talking about with you today, these things can be, in some instances, they can suggest that your baby may have suffered a traumatic brain injury. And that if these things are going on, you want to make sure that you're speaking with the medical professionals and the experts, and you're trying to get answers as to not only what's the diagnosis, but what is the future look like for your baby. If you have more questions, maybe you're watching this video today because your baby has displayed some of these signs and there is an HIE diagnosis and you have questions as to what caused this. Was it medical malpractice? Was it genetics? Was it developmental? What was it? If you have that going on, what I invite you to do is to get your cell and give me a call. That's a telephone number down below on the screen. I talk to families like yours all the time about these types of issues. We talked about HIE. We talked about a little bit about meconium aspiration syndrome, cerebral palsy. These are the types of things that we do and that we help families with. Also remember that it costs you absolutely nothing to pick up you get your cell and to call us initially about your baby story. It does not cost you to do that. When you talk with my office and you talk with my secretary, make sure you pick a good date to get on our calendar, a date and a time to get on the calendar so we can know when to call you and to return your telephone call to our office. In addition to that, make sure that you provide them with a good email address, an email address that you check frequently, because sometimes we have to send emails to people and we want to make sure that we are sending that information to an email address that you check frequently. And finally, I practice law here in the state of Maryland, and I know from time to time we'll have individuals that will contact us, they will watch these videos, and they go to our website, they will see this information, they will contact us. They are in the United States, but they may not be in Maryland. If that is you, just understand that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney or lawyer in your state, and that's something that we can look to work and help you on. But I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or that local counsel aspect of things if you contact us and you are not here in the state of Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. Talk with you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.